Well, howdy folks, Richard Gene the Fishing Machine here. You know folks, they're always coming out with new things for fishing. So much so that fishing can begin to feel complicated. Well, let me tell you, it's not. Fishing is simple, and I'd like to keep my fishing simple. Today, I'm going to show you a great way to catch big fish from the bank with nothing but bread. That's right, loaf bread. Let's head to the water and see what we can do. Woo. I'm talking about woo! Now there's grass carp and big channel cat in here, and that's going to be our goal, to get a hold of a big fish. Either one to do. But right now, let me show you what I'm doing right now. That didn't make a lot of sense. Right now, let me show you what I'm doing right now. Well, y'all can see I've got some bread right here. And what I'm going to do, and there's some floating right there, I just have come out here and throw the little bread out there. And there's been some bluegill come up and eat on it, but I've wet that bread. I'm going to mash it up just like that. I'm going to mash all the water out of it. Okay. And then I'm going to take, and what I'm doing is chumming. The reason why I wet it, soaked it that way, and mashed the water out of it is because I don't want it to float, not all of it. I want this to sink right in front of me. Now what that's going to do, eventually it's going to bring some grass carp over here, I hope. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to let it sit 2 or 3 minutes. Then, okay, it's been 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm going to take some little pieces like this and throw above where I chummed. Now the reason why I'm going to do that is now the bread is on top of the water. So if there's any fish in the area, I'll be able to see them come up and grab that bread off the top. So that's what we're doing right here. This is going to take a little time probably. Now as far as how to choose or where to choose the location to do this, well folks, I'll focus on points, back up in little cuts, coves, things of that nature. Anything that looks a little bit different. Alright folks, while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and show you my rig right here, what we got. Now, the wind is blowing this way, so all this bread is going back this way, so I'm watching it. And you see there's some that's blowed down that way. Really, I want to chum them up. There's a bluegill right there. He's come up to it. There's been a few bluegill. Look here. Y'all see him right there? See him right there? But there's been several of those small bluegill come up to the bread, popping it. But what I've got right here, what I'm wanting to do is use a piece of bread. I'm wanting to keep that piece of bread on top or under the surface slightly. So what I've done right here is I'm using a Nico caddisfly, and I've threaded it. I cut the ends off of it, and I threaded it onto this size 4. I'll slip it up right here. Gamakatsu hook right here. But I'm using 14-pound test mono, and this right here is a, y'all excuse me, one come up there and hit that. That was a bluegill. Okay. This knot is a snail knot. I've snailed the hook to the line. Okay. 14-pound test. I'm using a medium action rod, 7-foot long Falcon rod, and a 3,000 size match 2 what is this called? Loose spinning reel. Okay, real smooth drag. So the reason why I'm using this Nico is so to float the bread up and keep it up on top of the water column or slightly below it. longer instead of sinking. This is real important. This causes me to catch a lot more fish, especially if I'm putting a target on catfish or carp by using loaf bread. Now what I used to do was to use a piece of white Zoom trick worm. They make them in a white, solid center white, and slip a piece on. But this stuff right here is a little bit better. This is a Nico caddisfly, and they make them in white also. This stuff is a lot more buoyant than conventional plastic, so that's why I wanted to use it. It makes it sink a lot slower, and when it finally reaches the bottom, it sort of suspends right off of the bottom a little bit. So what we're going to do right here is I'm going to cut a little bit off of this bait. I don't want it to be exactly this long, but the reason why I'm putting it on here, something about like that right there's the length that we want, but the reason why I'm putting it on here is because a lot of times small bluegill is going to come to the, well, most all the time they're going to come to that loaf bread after you chum an area up pretty good. They're going to be just all kinds of them, and a lot of times they'll knock that dough ball off. So instead of reeling it in, putting another dough ball real quick, you can actually leave this out here a while, and a carp or a catfish and mistakenly pick it up because they're keying on the color white. After they get a taste of that loaf bread, well, they're keying on the color white, both carp and catfish. And so a lot of times, and I've caught a lot of fish like this, they'll knock that dough ball off, and this is still, you know, in the water, and they'll just grab it, and that'll catch you a fish. But let's go ahead, and I like to put a dough ball on like this right here. Now what I do is just start off like this. I don't like to roll it up and then hook it on, because what it does, it weakens the dough ball, and the dough ball won't stay on there as good, folks, because of that. But if you'll go about it that way, in my opinion, this is just me talking now, that right there will make that dough ball stay on better, and you'll have a better chance on hooking that fish. Here's my rig right here. There's the dough ball. I've got it mashed on there really tight. There's the Nico bait, and if y'all use Nico baits, you know how buoyant they are. Much more than conventional plastic. So what I'm going to do is fish it on the bottom, because I'm not seeing any fish at all. None whatsoever. Pop in the top. The bread on top. Of course, there's none out there. It's been floated all that way. What has been hitting the bread on top has been bluegill. But what I'm going to do now is just hold this rod. I'm just going to hold this rod, because there's some big old channel cats in here. And big, I'll be able to talk in a minute, folks. Big grass carp. So I'm just going to hold my rod. I'm not going to take a chance on losing it for a little bit. I might lay it down right here in a minute, but look, here goes a fish right here. Fish is moving off with it right now. Oh. Okay. There's some bubbles right out there. Y'all see them bubbles? I sure do. I see some. Let's pitch it out there. There he is, folks. There he is. Oh, you talking about stripping some drag right here. Now this could be a channel cat. There's some big channel cat in here too. Oh man. Best thing to do when you got a big fish on like this is just take your time. This is a catfish. This is a big channel cat. That's what this is, which that's fine. That's fine. That was my 2 target species, is channel cat and a carp. Boy, that's a big channel cat. It's hard to tell the difference because channel cat are quick. Especially in this hot water. They're really quick. Okay. So that could have been a channel cat where I seen them bubbles instead of a carp. Obviously it was. He was feeding on that bread. But that's a quick way to get them in right there. Wet that loaf bread like that and get all the water and air out of it, and then throw little pieces out. And it'll go to the bottom. Okay. So let's get him up here. That is a dandy channel cat. Woo-wee. That's a nice one. This is simple fun right here. That's a pretty good channel cat, folks. It didn't take long. Now, chumming that way, fish will come in a little bit quicker than on top, oftentimes. But what we're going to hope for is a big grass carp. Let's just let him go right here, and we'll chum some more. Okay. Go on back in there. There he goes. If you ain't gonna eat them, be easy with them and release them for somebody else to catch. Let me show you one now. And there was my cameraman right there. Folks, I love hanging around with Rocky. I tell you, he's something else. And what he's gonna do is bring his daddy down here and let his daddy fish. And his daddy is 94 years old?
93, he's going on 94.
Going on 94.
Yep.
In December. And his daddy loves to fish.
Oh, he loves to fish. And
he's, I tell you, I respect him so much because he was a veteran.
Yeah.
And what branch did he serve?
In the Navy and the Marine Corps.
The Navy and the Marine Corps, yep. Folks. Now, that's what you call an American now, no doubt. No doubt. But I'm eager to see him come down here and catch a fish.
Oh yeah, we'll get him down here. Now when he was younger, he used to come up here and fish a lot in this little small lake right here.
Yeah, and this lake
got some big shellcracker.
Big shellcracker and bluegill in here.
Oh, yeah.
And big catfish, big channel cats, and grass carp.
Grass carp.
And the reason I'm here on this point right here, folks, is because I could land a big grass carp here. It'd take me some time, but I could. If I can draw a couple here, well, we'll catch them. We'll catch them. Well, Rocky?
I'm going to go back over here and try to catch a bluegill.
Okay. I tell you what, folks, I sure do think a lot of him. We've shot several films together, and I've had a ball with him over the years. Good friend. Let's catch another one. Alright, folks, I've got a little bit more. Now, any loaf bread will work. I mean, my goodness. A lot of people says this loaf bread's better than this one, and loaf bread's loaf bread. But let's go ahead and get a little bit more chum right here. Sometimes, some days fish will feed better on top. That's the days I won't wet it. I'll do the same thing, just little bitty pieces and throw them around. And some days they feed better on the bottom. It all depends on the barometric pressure. Now we had a front come in last night, which dropped the temperature. So that's the reason why they're not coming up too much, I believe. But we're going to let that sink, get us another dough ball on there and throw it out. And see what else about it. Woo. It's all about what will bite. Whew. I almost had an adrenaline rush right there. I mean, it was very, very close. This water probably is about 5 feet out there, about 15 to 20 feet out. See, I'm not fishing very far out at all, just where I'm throwing the chum. So we'll just leave the bell open. That's what I'm doing. Putting that finger over that line and then leaving the bell open. And when that fish grabs it and hauls buggy with it, I'll just release that line. Let him run with it a couple of seconds and then set the hook. That's all we're doing right here. There he is, folks. There we go. There's another one. Golly, this is a grass carp right here. Y'all see? That's a nice grass carp too. Look at him out there. Now they fight a lot. Y'all hear that? That's a tornado warning. Woo, a tornado warning. But a grass carp fights a lot different than a common carp. They're a lot different. Now they're a hard pulling fish. But that's not a bad one right there. Not really. They pull hard, but not near as hard as a common carp. But that's a pretty good fish right there. That was my target. But we got a tornado warning. Tornado warning. But not really. They're just testing that siren out. This is a pretty good fish right here. Fun fish to catch. He's pretty good size, but the reality of it is he's a small one. These things get huge. They get real huge. But I just take my time with them just like you would any other fish. I just wear them completely out. They're a real hard pulling fish, but you're better off not to bring them up on the bank green. Just wear them out. Folks, I'm up here without a tripod or anything, and I'm glad that I got my buddy right here to hold the camera for me. Yeah. We help each other like this when we can because it's good for us. Yes, it's impossible. Look at the power that fish has got. Rocky, you want to fight him a while?
Yes, sir, you go ahead and hey, you earned that carp.
This is a good fish. He's wore my arms out. Right here. Now they don't have any. Whoa. They're very powerful fish right there. And to me, in the water, folks, from y'all from Florida, that from looking down at them, a grass carp looks like a giant mullet. That's what they look like, a mullet. I talk a lot about mullet because I love to eat them. But let's see. Let me get him up here. Yeah. That's a big fish right there. Y'all see that? That's how strong they are. But y'all are probably still wondering the reason why I'm using this little Nico floaty bait with my dough ball. That keeps it up in vision a lot better than for that dough ball to go directly on the bottom. It'll keep it up higher for fish like these, and you'll get more bites like that, in my opinion, if you'll do that. If you want to fish with bread and dough balls. Okay, here, you want me to get him? I got it. They're strong, ain't they?
Yeah. I just don't know how to get him.
Yeah.
Boy, look what a pretty fish.
They are beautiful. You just lay him right there. Real gentle. We'll take a look at him and let him go, because, yeah, hold him down so he don't, yeah. There he is. That's my target species. Now, these fish are tough. They're very resilient. Let's let him go. They're just like a common carp, but they don't pull quite as hard. Let's let him go right here, Rocky. And there he goes. See how he swam off. After all that fighting, that fish is good to go. If you were to hook him now, he'd give you the same fight. Hey, man, whoa. Let's catch another one. All right. What I'm going to do is repeat the process. I'm going to mash all the water out of it, just like that, and we'll just repeat it again. Just like that. We're going to cloud the water up with bread. And there's probably, now that I've caught that carp, folks, to be honest with y'all, I've been here probably about 35 minutes. There's probably some more catfish out there too. Big channel cats. And possibly another grass carp. I'm not sure yet, but we'll go ahead and put us a bait out there in amongst that. So simple. This is the simple way of fishing. If and you can keep from being hung up on everything. Okay. There's the deal. Yeah, Nico baits are so floaty. They're just fabulous for Ned rigs. For those of y'all who watches my channel. And for this application, I'm going to stress it again. It's very, very important to do this if you're wanting to get a lot of strikes. And of course, everything loves bread. When I was a kid, I started off, or most of us did start off, fishing with bread. And I'm not making a big dough ball at all. Look here. About as big as my thumb, the end of my thumb, because I already have this. So it's a pretty good size looking bait, but not too big. All right, let's get another bait out there. And what I'm doing is actually throwing beyond where I chummed a little bit. Just a little bit on the outskirts of where I chummed. Because those fish, what they do, they get in there and they just root around. As long as that scent's there, they'll stay around in that vicinity. There's y'all big word, vicinity. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to, no need for a rod holder right here. I'm just going to hold it just like that. Finger over my line. When I get a strike, I'll release the line. Let him swim a little bit and souse the hook. Not real hard. You don't have to set the hook very hard. Remember, these hooks that we're using now, especially these Gamakatsus, them Gamakatsus that get them. And them owners will too. We have better hooks now than what we used to back in the old days. There he is, folks. There we go. There we go. Boy, that fish is coming straight to me. My. Wow. I want y'all to look what a bowl right here. Golly. They fight. This is another channel cat, but you talking about fighting. Some channel cat are just meaner than others, but I'm going to tell you, of all the catfish species, I've mentioned this before, I've caught them all. I've caught flathead, 50-pound plus flathead, many of them. Blues, 65, 70-pound blues, but pound for pound, a channel cat will fight harder than those other two species. I don't know what it is about them. Golly. And all I'm using is bread. That's it. That's how effective bread is. It's just the truth. It'll catch all kinds of species. This fish ain't done. He ain't done because he's big. I think this is the biggest channel cat I've caught. And I've caught, I don't know how many I'm going to show, but 4 or 5. One little one. Golly. I moved from here and come back, and I'm glad I did. Fish move around. Y'all hear him? He's already. Carp. Carp. Okay. I believe we about got him wore out. That took a lot of doings. That's a big old long channel cat. Come here, boy. That's a male too. Alright folks, look at that one, a big old long, lanky channel cat right there. That's a good one. For here in the south, that's a pretty good one right there. Give me a fit. Just a piece of dough ball. That's all I called him on, folks. And if I can do it, well, you can too. Let's let him go. Let him go there. There he goes. Fishing. Let me say this again. I know y'all get tired of it. That's the word we use here in the south. Tired. It means tired. Tired of hearing it. But fishing is a sport second to none. Turtle? Rocky's got a turtle. Oh, yeah, old greenhead, ain't it? Oh, that's funny. Oh. There he is, folks. Let me get up. There we go. Yeah, boy. I'm going to tell you something. I'm absolutely, look what some boils. I'm absolutely having a ball right here. The power of a dead blame dough ball. Isn't that impressive? And I'm going to tell you something. It's something I did a lot of when I was a kid, and I bet a lot of y'all watching right here, a bunch of you's done the same thing. Whether it was in a pond or a small lake or even a little creek, I bet you've done a lot of it. This fish is fighting. Every one of them's been hard to land. That's another big old channel cat. My. Hey, that one, look here. I want y'all to look right here. This one's got a jig in his mouth. I'm going to get that out. Somebody has got popped by this fish right here by throwing a jig. Somebody hooked him. And he broke somebody's line. That's what's happened. And I can believe that, as strong as they are. Alright folks, I'm a woolly booger, ain't I? I'm doing this because Mama Sue told me, you are not going to grow no old scraggly beard. And I'm just showing her that I'm going to. And I like it. It itches a little bit, but I like it. But anyhow, look right here. I ain't quit. See that jig? He broke off somebody. So we're going to take it out. And he'll be minus a jig in his mouth. There it is. Huh. Ain't that cool right there? It looked like somebody had about 4-pound line, which is understandable. These things are strong. Let's let him go. Get on back in there, boy. That's what I'm talking about. It's simple. Well, folks, we're going to end it right there. Caught a lot of fish today. The barometric pressure was very, very high, so it did take more effort than what it looked like to catch what we did. Had a tremendous time up here with Rocky Drake. Check his channel out, Rocky Drake Outdoors. And God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Everything y'all do is appreciated. Hey, man, golly. And remember, it's good. Go fishing when you can, because it's good for you. I don't know what to think. Oh, people, y'all just hit the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all I'm telling you.